What?
We're gonna do this
I'm
again.
sorry, I'm too good.
Keep playing dumb, alright?
Alright guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. We are gonna learn how to dance at a party. This is our first video in our video series on our course on how to do some party tricks or just learn how to dance at a party. Let's jump right in.
We have courses and dances on slow dancing and how to be intimate with your partner and turner and dipper and do all those fun things, but now we need to do
the fast stuff.
The fast stuff. So the first thing we're going to learn is how to hold each other and then how to simply move together, right? So what we suggest is using what we call two-hand hold, where my palms are facing up and her palms are facing down.
And I'm just going to take his hands. So you're not just going to be palm on palm like this, we're actually going to hold hands.
Exactly, so my thumbs kind of go on top, hers are on the side. I feel really comfortable if I take my pointer fingers outside of her hands, so my other 3 fingers are left inside of her hand, or you can put all 4 underneath. But I would say this is like the ideal. I have really good control over her, because now I can kind of move side to side as well, right?
And what we want to do with this in general, unless we, later we're going to learn how to do some more tricks and turns, we want to keep these hands low. That way we don't get up here. This looks to me like if we come together and go away, it looks like little T-Rex hands. And it's also harder to lead and follow this way, so we want to think in general to her belly button are your common centers.
Yeah, we're trying to make this as casual as possible. We're supposed to keep it light, keep it easy, nothing too specific, nothing too formal. You can see in our slow dance course, our other videos, that we usually take like a ballroom dance frame or a partner hold and a lot of different stuff, But in this, we're trying to move a little quicker and be a little more loose about it.
Guys, just always plan to start with your left foot. In general, if you're learning this together, then you just know which person is going to start on what foot. And in general, most people are righties and they feel more comfortable maybe using their right foot first. It's just like left and right brain thing, right? So if you're at a party and you're grabbing someone random, it's also helpful for the guy who's starting the dance to start on the left, because she, in general, will have her right foot free more often.
There's probably 2 kinds of people watching this right now, right? There are couples or people who want to learn how to dance together, and if you're going to dance together often, or you're always together, make a plan and always kind of start on the same page, So it gets really, really comfortable over time and habitual, and it's not very difficult.
Yes.
The other person probably watching this is probably trying to figure out how to lead somebody, probably lead somebody through a dance that or somebody they've never danced with before, doesn't know anything, hasn't taken any lessons. And this course is designed that you could lead somebody, myself, through a ton of cool moves, and this person has never ever danced before in their life, and you can kind of be a stud on the dance floor and learn a few things,
Okay, so with that being said, let's get into our step taps. We're going to start with our side taps. So we're going to start side tap, side tap. So ladies, if we switch to this direction so we can kind of see, I'm starting right tap, left tap. That's all I'm doing. He's doing the actual opposite. Left tap, right tap. And that's all we're doing going side to side. We can also do a separation and come together, which in that case, we're actually both gonna step back. So if we go right away into that, we're gonna go back, tap, forward, tap, back, tap, forward, tap. And we could interchange these. So say we did one side tap, and then one separate and come together. So you can do that, and we'll talk about how to lead that and stuff like that.
Cool. From my perspective, my left foot's going to the side first, left foot tap, right foot tap, and we can go back and forth any number of times you want to, right?
Yes.
And then we had the backwards one. So I went back, tap, forward, tap. I'm always changing feet, step, tap, and then again we can change back and forth between these 2 things.
One thing I just want to say, if you are interchanging them, just so it's comfortable each time, we want to make sure that we complete. So if we're doing like a side tap, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you could move into the separation, which is going to be again 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 4 changes of weight, or 4 actions, let's say, because we're tapping, not changing weight. So if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, we can go again 1, 2, 3, 4, and then after the 4 you can change again, just so you have something to go by.
This is what comes back to the leader left foot, follower right foot, is that every time I want to change which one I want to do, my left foot is free or ready to use, right? So if you see from this perspective again, if I do one set of these, my left foot is free. It just tapped and it's ready to use. And then I can change. My left foot is free, and then I can go and change. I can do as many of these as I want, back and forth, and then go switch to this forward and backwards one.
So if we talk about how to lead and follow this in general, so whenever we're dancing with a partner, we don't want to be complete spaghetti noodles, but we also don't want to be completely like tense, like, oh my gosh, I need to be on and ready to go, because you're going to hurt yourself and potentially your partner. So what we both want to do is try to keep energy in our own arms, and what we call it is like tone. So I'm not like resting my arms and being really heavy, and he's not squeezing me so tight. We're both just going to hold our own weights, be connected towards one another. That way we can have better communication. So if you've watched any of our other leading and follow videos, you'll know what I'm saying, but if not, just try it out with us, okay? So that means if we go maybe side to side, instead of like going like this to bring me side to side, he's gonna move his whole spine and just keep his arms where they are. And I'm gonna do the same thing. So if he were to move with his whole body, I'm not gonna go like this, right? So I'm gonna keep my arms engaged, and then that way, he brings me to the side, I follow. And he can now lead my direction. So say he wanted to change it up and continue in one direction like merengue or bachata, he could do so. Just the idea of like, yeah, like that. So we're doing something new, but just so you have that feeling.
So if I go from this perspective here, so you can see that if I want to bring her to the side is actually very, very easy. I just move myself, right? So she just said I don't move my hands first, right? I move my body first, and she's able to visually see me, and she matches me really, really easily. I'm not going and shifting and pushing around with my hands. You can see that when I go to move, my hands don't get in front of myself. I'm just here with my hands super, super light in front. It's just like if we were out at the party kind of dancing, like we would go and match up. You
can do this anyway. Also no contact, social distancing.
But like this is natural. This is what you probably do at parties anyway. Everybody has a little kind of version of this little step tap thing, right? So the only thing we're really doing is going, okay, not everybody has that. I don't have it. But what we're doing now is we're going, okay, look, can we just hold each other's hands at the same time? So we feel like we're at least dancing together, right? Because everybody's kind of like, okay, especially guys, I don't want to fast dance. I don't know what to do when I get out there. They're stuck in this step tap thing. Yeah. And we get out on the floor and we're both kind of like, we're doing this and it's fine. And we're like, what do I do with my hands? The best thing to do with your hands is nothing. Just hold on to her hands. And
then you don't have to worry about it.
Now you don't have to like
do
whatever crazy
stuff. Yeah. You could.
You could. You can stay free. I'm sure Lynn's gonna have a course on this at some point.
You get to learn all that.
How to dance on your own. But the best kept secret is to hold onto her hands, and now you don't need to do anything, right?
True.
So we have her hands, and then later in this course, we're gonna learn a bunch of cool things we can do. Obviously learning how to turn her and a bunch of different cool moves we'll kind of preview as we go along.
So now if we want to talk about this ends a little bit harder, how to get me to step back while he also steps back. So what he's doing, actually, why don't Chris talk about that?
So I'm gonna move myself away, but with my arms, I send her backwards slightly. She only needs a little bit of energy just to redirect her is what's happening. So if we're just moving side to side and I were to just like move backwards away from her, she wouldn't get any inclination. She wouldn't even change and she would just look at me like I'm kind of funny, right?
Which is not a big deal because eventually she would pick up, but if you want to be a little more advanced, then get her to move with you.
Well, we're trying to be on the same page, right?
Yeah.
So what I do with my hands is I go and I send her away. So before I move backwards, I actually move a little bit towards her because I'm trying to send her away from me and then we get to both go and walk away, right? The back tap and the forward tap is not as obvious though with each other. Like when we go to the side, the only option we have is to tap before we go back to the other side. I can't go close my feet and then continue to cross around. Where if we go forward and backwards, however, people could close their feet and just keep walking forward and backwards.
But if you start with the side tap in general, it's easier for them to follow that pattern.
Yeah, you're kind of banking on, okay, we're in this flow. Hopefully we can keep this flow. Now you'll know right away if it works or doesn't work and you can kind of keep working on it together. But we don't just dance in this back and forward. Like if we're just out, if we're at a wedding dancing, we're not doing this over and over again. I only use this because we're about to move into some cooler moves that we're gonna teach you later on in the course.
Or if you wanna switch it up, I personally think it looks cute if you're going side, side, back, forward. It just changes it up because then you can have now a little cute stretch, come together, and it's just more playful if you're maybe at a more beginner level and you're sticking with just this kind of feeling.
So if you're learning this together with somebody in a couple or whatnot, and you can kind of play with these things and kind of get on the same page, and these are really cool patterns or variations you could use together as you go forward. So a preview of what you're gonna learn in this course, right? We just taught you super, super basic footwork and kind of how to hold each other's hands. so that when you get out to the floor, you have some kind of default plan you can stick to. Throughout the course, we're going to be learning a bunch of cool moves you get to use. If we show you a few real quick, just to kind of see what you can learn, is you'll be able to learn how to roll her in, roll her back out again, maybe bring her back in. And as we dance through some of these basic things we learned, we'll learn how to go and turn her in different directions as we go back and forth. We'll even learn things like the hustle basic, where we can move a little bit more as we dance around. And if you want to learn something a little bit more structured, then this would be an option for us as we go forward. You'll learn how to dip her, how to do one of those. I usually lead it, but of course she can too. You'll learn how, and we'll learn how to combo all these things together. So you have a few big tricks and party moves you'll be able to learn together that aren't too tricky. And the course explains.
They look fancy, but.
They look fancy, but we explain all these things in detail. Anybody can learn it. Anytime we have somebody come in who learns like a first dance for their wedding, or they learn how to slow dance, we also teach them some of these party tricks. And then when they're at a wedding, at a party, out of their band, they get to whip out some of these really cool tricks that are pretty easy to do. And then they have a plan and they have something to do, and they don't have to feel all goofy out there by themselves.
So be sure to check out our Party Tricks course, or how to dance at a party, for all of these cool things. I'm going to link the course in the description down below. Also feel free to check out all of our hustle videos. We kind of based this whole course around hustle because it's known as the party dance to like non-Latin music. And if you are interested in Latin music, salsa, bachata, and merengue, those are traditionally Latin dances, which we have a bunch of free videos up on those. And we also have more advanced variations up on our website as well. So I'm going to link everything down below. So please go check those out. And without further ado, be sure to keep on dancing and learn your new steps.
You can find this whole course on ballroomfeed.com. It's a how to dance at a party course. We go through all of these cool moves, and this is just the teaser.
Yes.
And more.
All right, guys, be sure to like and subscribe if you like this video. Comment down below what you want to see next from us, and we'll see you again very soon.